Okay, so compliance and regulation. What are the most common compliance issues that come across your desk? What do you see over and over and over again? Is there some? Maybe there isn't.
Well, there are.
Okay.
Right now, we're seeing a lot of issues with books. Bookkeeping, audits are ongoing, but we're seeing a lot of older audits that we're conducting, and folks made mistakes years ago. They may have been advised to correct them, but they may have not done so. And so we're trying to really get the word out to everyone now. If you've not requested an assistance visit, please do so.
Yes, I did it. And it's great.
It's non-punitive. It's totally free of charge.
Highly recommend.
And we're glad to do them. However, if you don't have an internal audit process, that's probably not a very good business practice. You need internal auditing so that qualifying broker is aware of what's happening in that office every day, because that's your job.
Yep.
Period.
Yes, I agree, and I think we did do it a year or two ago. I have no concept of time, but it was very helpful, and I did appreciate that offer, and I actually will probably do it again this year, just because if we're missing something or if we're doing something wrong, I want to know. So we opened our company in March of 2019, and in either June or July of that year, we were getting audited by the commission. I was actually out of town with my family on a vacation, and the person who was my senior director then was having a come apart. Oh my God, we're out, I'm like, don't worry, we haven't been doing it that long, and this is great. Because we haven't been doing it that long, if we're making some kind of a mistake, we can catch it now and fix it and go on. And when you guys do come in and we know that we're going to be audited, we really don't have a panic attack or a meltdown, because now we're pretty lined up, so we know where to find the things that you're going to need or that you have requested, and we get them out and we have them, and it doesn't take that long. And ours are not perfect. There are some things sometimes that Anthony says, well, you should do this or whatever, but we're good. And it's a really good feeling to know that you're good and you're doing what you're supposed to. But if you're not, you can fix it. I mean, it's not that
free.
big a deal.
It's free of charge.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as the commission's concerned, when we expand resources, say sending an auditor out, we're going to expand the resources anyway. I would much rather send auditors out to help licensees and to help those licensed companies, as opposed to sending them out on a surprise audit attack. We got you. I think that's a waste of resources. We stopped that a few years ago. We do still have some unannounced audits, but the law allows for that.
Yeah.
But we really try to help people as much as possible. If we can help licensees become better licensees, that's a part of our core mission. That's why we're there. The audits will occur. People will make mistakes. We get that. And the world is not coming to an end.
Right.
But we want to be of help and assistance, and not necessarily the police.
And the thing about those audits, when you invite the commission to come in and do an audit, they're not punitive.
No.
They're trying to fix. So that's a perfect, there's no excuse to be doing something wrong over and over. Like I said, it was very beneficial, very helpful, so that when we were audited the next time, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. And it's a good feeling. So what steps can brokers and agents take to ensure that they're always in compliance with the commission's rules and regulations?
I would say 1, request an assistance visit.
Mm-hmm.
2, call the commission often. Call and ask if there are any changes. Hey, is anything happening that I may have missed? We post most of our administrative rule changes and also legislative changes on our website. So I'd advise folks to go out. We're all over social media. We're on YouTube, AREC Alabama Gov. We're out on X. We're out there. We're putting information out. But what we're finding, unfortunately, is that some agents and brokers don't like to read things. So we have to try and find new ways of communicating. But
we call that RDR. Realtors don't read. Yeah.
But they can absolutely reach out to us. Check our website again. Coffee with the Commission is normally fairly consistent. Briefly
and it's
Legal Live.
Good information, and you're updating us, so we do listen to that.
And Briefly Legal will happen again, I think, this month.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry, next month.
All right.
So there'll be a February version of that. So we're trying to use technology as a business resource so that we can ensure that licensees do know what's happening, how it's happening, And even if they don't have specifics, they feel confident enough to call the commission and say, I heard this. Is there anything happening?
Yeah.
Well, yes, we changed the regs on signage. Here's a copy of it.
Yeah, especially now because there are changes happening, but there always little changes happening. But one of the things too that I make sure that all of my agents have on their cell phone is the app, the AREC app. So if they have a question about license law, they can find an answer, and you can search that search bar and put in kind of vaguish, as long as you've got a word or something in there, and it's gonna highlight every license law that pertains to whatever the question is that you have, if it's not a specific question, that comes up. And every agent in my office has that app on their phone. I make sure that they do so that they have access to that. And I do tell my agents, if it's something I don't know, but I want to know, then I call you because I want to hear the answer, and then I transfer it. But if it's something they need, a lot of times I'll say, call the commission. Like, I don't, but I want them to get comfortable calling the commission. We're not going to blow you up. But there's got to be, I want them to feel comfortable enough where if they have a specific question about something, that they feel comfortable calling and getting that answer.
We are there to answer questions, period.
Yeah.
I mean, part of what we do is educate. If you have a question, give us a call. If we don't have the answer, maybe this is really a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, but if you don't ask the question, we don't know.
That's right.
And we also have those 9 commissioners that are there as well. And so if we absolutely specifically have a specific question about an issue, I've got 9 of the best practitioners in the state on speed dial.
Yeah.
So we can give those folks a call and find out what's happening right now as you sit there. And I
In
think
their
that's
area, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it,
Yeah.
though, because we've got commissioners from around the state. So depending upon who's calling, we can find a commissioner for that area and say, hey, in commercial real estate, is this the current practice that they have locally? If so, why so? Is this something we need to change?
Yeah.
And we can get those answers.
Yeah, because even, I know that real estate is specific state to state, but in Alabama, people do things differently. People in Huntsville do things a little differently than Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, who's only an hour away. Their contracts look different, and South Alabama, that's a whole different animal. So, and we're learning that for our new office. So, there are some differences within the state, and it's good to have questions answered when you're dealing with properties or agents from other areas. So, advice, personal insights. What's one piece of advice you'd give to every real estate agent in Alabama?
One piece of advice, if you don't know your qualifying broker, get to know them. Ask questions.
And this is somebody from out of state, not in this state, I just want to make that clear, but an agent that came here from another state did not have their broker's cell phone number. They could not get in touch with their broker if they needed something. I can't imagine that.
That's one of our primary challenges.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me. Because the way I look, that's a broker's job. So to not even have it, to be able to contact them, I can't imagine. But anyway, in your time with the commission, what's the most surprising thing that you've learned about the real estate industry? Because you didn't come from a real estate background.
Without getting too granular, just the overall complexity of a real estate transaction. Being on the consumer side, if you have a good agent or a good broker, you will never know or see anything that happens behind the scenes. You're thinking, sign here, read that, sign there, I'm there. And then now, being on the other side of the table, and even as a commissioner, having seen the other side, especially the regulatory aspect of it, wow.
There are a lot of moving parts.
Wow. From the first time one of our licensees has a conversation with a person, a relationship starts. It's going to probably blossom into something that may transcend generations. You don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty
deal.
of real estate, because it's not just like purchasing chips at a grocery store. You're building a relationship with a person, and maybe with the family of people.
Yeah. That's another thing that I encourage my agents to do, is to buy a property. Because you really can't empathize with a person. It drives me crazy when a young, newish agent is like, oh, it's no big deal, I've got you. I'm like, you have never bought or sold a property for yourself ever. Don't tell them not to be upset or worried or concerned or, whatever. Because I've flip some houses, and we have some rental properties and stuff. So I'm constantly doing things for myself. And there are still times when in my head, I'll have an answer to something, excuse me, right off the bat. And then I'll think, wait a second, that's emotion, all right. So what would I, think, what would I advise a client to do? That's what I need to do. Mm-hmm. Not what I'm feeling right this second. Oh my God, they came up with that offer, and I'm like, no, okay, that's a starting place. So let's go ahead and get this worked out. So you really can't be that empathetic if you've never done it yourself. So I highly encourage agents in our office, and we help them be able to buy or sell a property on their, of their own, so that they can get all the feels that go into a real estate deal, because it's a lot of money. It's a big deal.
Huge deal. Even smaller transactions nowadays they're huge. They're much larger, and for consumers, that's more stressful.
Yeah,
that's more stressful. But our licensees are doing a great job across the state of Alabama. Inventory seems to be where it needs to be in order for folks to transact with a bit of ease. I don't know how that will transpire throughout the year, but folks are looking good in January, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, we are. We had a good January.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so very good. So if you could implement one major change in the industry, what would it be and why?
One major change, I would offer that one change would be that leadership became a precursor to getting a broker's license, as opposed to course hours or passing an exam.
That's a great idea. Great idea.
Just my thought, though.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. Okay, so what inspired you to pursue your career?
So I was a commissioner prior to.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
I was a commissioner.
All right.
I was a real estate commissioner. I was the consumer member. And again, not being a licensee, I was really just blown away by the true complexity of the licensee side of a real estate transaction. And I transacted real estate in other countries before as a consumer, but not as a licensee.
Right.
And so having an opportunity to work as a regulator and something that was so interesting to me was a great opportunity to really understand what licensees were going through out there and make certain that as regulators we were not impediments to business, right? We help, we facilitate, we make changes where necessary so that folks can conduct business in a safe manner. And let's be honest, most of our licensees out there are awesome. They are great. They want to be successful. It's the one or two folks out there that are probably not really clear on why they're here that we have to worry about. Yeah. And so for me, that wasn't really the driving force behind wanting to direct the commission, but more importantly, wanting to help as many people as possible. I've been a real estate consumer. I know the trepidation, and consumers don't know what they don't know. And if we don't have a good agent out there, the consumer may not know. And so when the transaction goes awry, there's now ambiguity, there's frustration, there's anger, and it's all because a disclosure was not properly done.
Yeah, I think that that this is a great industry, and I do really look at what we do here is we are salespeople. That's our title and our job. However, we're really in service to our clients and our customers. They're not, it's not that we're trying to sell them something that they don't need or they don't want or, all of these kinds of things. We're just trying to help them get wherever it is they want to be. We just help with the process, the transaction, to get them where they want and need to be. And that's how we look at it here. Even though, sales is part of our job title, that's not how we kind of flow in this office, which is nice, I think. So what are your hobbies or your interests outside of work, and how do they influence your professional life?
Well, most of my endeavors outside of the office involve relaxation. So I've had several endeavors over the years, and now primarily I'm a cattle farmer. So my wife and I have a small ranch there outside of Utah and West Alabama, but we've been skydivers, Very little we have in boating.
I know you downhill ski.
Oh yeah, do that too. Do that as well. So we just try to relax. Very often my weekend is a mix of trying to relax, but also picking up the phone. I've told folks often my desk phone automatically rings on my hip wherever I am, and so even in Breckenridge,
Yeah.
if a licensee calls the real estate commission and they reach my desk, my pocket phone will ring and I will pick up.
Yeah.
And so, but right now my hobbies are just the farm. It's very relaxing to get out on a piece of equipment or get out with the animals and just relax, and no email, no nothing,
Yeah.
just out on the side by side or out with the horses and just relaxing because Monday's coming.
That's right. That's right. I get it. Is there anything else that you would like to bring up or mention, either personally or professionally, or something that's on your mind before we wrap up?
If I were to have a last comment, I would just offer to the folks that are listening out there, call the commission or reach out to the commission if you have questions. We're not there to take anyone's license. We're not there to be the boogeyman in the woods. We're there to help folks be successful in real estate. Give us a call and let us know how we can help.
Yeah, and I really think that just as agents, it's important to get to know lenders and get to know title company people and get to know, people in city council and kind of know your area. It's also important to have a relationship with somebody at AAR, somebody at the commission, so that you can call and talk to them and you kind of know who they are and they kind of know who you are. So I am so appreciative of you being here with us today so that people can get to put a face to a name, can see that he's a laid back, very nice guy. He is not out to get you.
No.
You can call him, you can call people in his office and get some answers to questions that you want. You don't need to be concerned or intimidated or afraid to do that.
No.
They're here to help. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing. That's a wrap for today's episode of Carry On with Carrie Fitz. A big welcome and thank you to Vaughn Poe for joining us. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who could use this information. Until next time, carry on.